Hello, I'm a guy that likes to talk about music, and today I want to talk about an old Bob Dylan song called Outlaw Blues and the way it was performed by Timothee Chalamet on Saturday Night Live. And I may be mispronouncing that name. It's a hard name to learn. For a long time, I kept wanting to call him Charlemagne, like the European king. So maybe I'll just call him Timothy, Timothy, Timothy. Wonder how many people remember the Timothy song. So anyway, Timothy is the actor that played Dylan in that movie about him. And so when that was a new movie, he hosted Saturday Night Live, and he was both the host and the musical guest. And he did a couple of Dylan songs, and but his choices were very interesting. Like he could have done some famous Dylan songs. He could have done. You would expect like a Rolling Stone, since the movie was called A Complete Unknown, and that comes from the song Like a Rolling Stone. Yeah, he could have done Like a Rolling Stone or The Times They Are Changing, and but he did a couple of deep cuts instead. He did some songs that are not well known at all. He did Outlaw Blues and one called Three Angels. And of course, that really caught my attention, when that YT video came on my feed. And uh, yeah, because Three Angels was on this album called New Morning, and which I loved. And like, not only is Three Angels not a well-known song, the album it was on isn't even that well remembered, I don't think, even among other Dylan fans. But I love the album. Anyway, I hadn't watched a musical performance of on Saturday Night Live in maybe years. Who knows how long it's been? And so they used to not do any light shows for the musical acts, but boy, they sure did for Chalamet. I mean, oh my gosh! At the beginning of his performance, they had this bright, blinking white light. I mean, it was bright and it was very blinky. They should have put some kind of warning on the screen there, because some people can't handle that stuff. It's some people have this like photophobia, and of course you might be familiar with epilepsy. Some of the people with epilepsy have this photosensitivity, and I mean, and that could actually cause them to have a seizure. So yeah, I mean, they should have put some kind of warning on that screen before doing that. Wow. I don't even have any kind of photophobia, but boy, it got to me. I was like, whoa. But anyway, yeah, I want to talk about the Outlaw Blues song first, because I think there's some interesting lines in it. It was a song from 1965. It was on an album called Bringing It All Back Home. And hey, Mr. Tambourine Man. Yeah, that's the one with Mr. Tambourine Man on it. And had Subterranean Homesick Blues. Johnny's in the basement mixing up the medicine. I'm on the pavement. But my personal favorite on that album was actually one called Love Minus Zero, Noble Limit. Oh, yeah, a song with two titles for some reason. But it's a good one. My love, she speaks like silence. Doom, doom, doom. Yeah, that's one I'd really recommend for people. Love Minus Zero. But anyway, Outlaw Blues, it was kind of a silly sounding song, actually. Bop, 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 na, 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 bop, bop, bop. And it doesn't sound like how you might imagine a song titled Outlaw Blues sounding like. And there's really not much in the lyrics about being an outlaw. There is mention of Jesse James in it. So I guess that was enough to justify calling it Outlaw Blues. And the song begins with the line, "Ain't it hard to stumble and land in some muddy lagoon?" So from the beginning, this song makes no sense. Ain't it hard to stumble and land in some muddy lagoon? Yeah. But that's what Dylan was doing at the time. Now, Dylan was a fantastic songwriter. Like in his first albums, when he was just doing the acoustic folk stuff, man, he was writing songs about things that were going on in the country at the time, and he could write songs about missing a girl, or breaking up with a girl, and stuff like that. But then he began doing something like, it was like random words and sentences put together. It sounded like he was writing songs by playing Mad Libs with his friends. Mad Libs. Give me a noun, give me a verb, give me an adjective, give me another noun. Uh, and so, yeah, that's how he wound up singing about stumbling in lagoons and lucky black teeth and Australian mountain ranges and stuff like that. And I remember how Timothy was dressed when he started singing that song. He was dressed funny. He had some sunglasses on and a winter coat on with a fuzzy parka. Guess that's what you call it, a parka. Not really a hoodie. But anyway, he looked like an Eskimo. He looked like an Eskimo that was trying to look cool, like a hip Eskimo or something. And I didn't know who he was at the time. I figured maybe he dressed weird all the time. Maybe I didn't know because, like rock stars can be weird and movie stars can be weird. And so when you have an actor doing a rock song, well, that might be doubly weird. But I think there was a reason for the outfit. The opening lines are about, stumbling in a lagoon, and then he sings about how it's 9 below 0 and 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So if it's 9 below 0, it's pretty cold. And so that would explain the whole Arctic coat outfit. And after he's done singing that part, he takes the park off his head, but he's still got his sunglasses on. And maybe he's wearing those because he sings the lines, I've got my dark sunglasses. I've got my dark sunglasses. Yeah, I don't know if he did all that on purpose or not, but it's possible. But anyway, there's a few interesting lines there at the end that I wanted to get into, but looks like I'm running behind here, so I'll have to do that later. And it hurts.